And welcome back to the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. The Bulldogs rebound in a great way as they were able to pull out the win against Caney Creek. And we have on the line with us right now head football coach Gene Johnson. How you doing today, Coach?
Doing great. It's easy to be doing great after a win.
Yes, sir. It's always good. Bulldogs bounce back 41-14. Explosive night. A great way to rebound after a tough loss on last week. Give us a recap on how things panned out for you guys.
Well, just a little bit of a slow start there on the opening kickoff. We kicked the ball out of bounds, and they took the opening kickoff and marched down and took the lead 7-0. So after not playing well as what we would have liked last week, we got off to a real sluggish start with the falling down 7-0. But then what a response by our kids from that point moving forward. And I think offensively we matched that score and then got a stop and went up 14-7, and it was kind of never look back situation from there. So really proud of the kids for responding after a tough loss that we as players and coaches, we certainly expected to come out with a win last week. It would have been easy to kind of let that one hang over on us, but really responded well. I was proud of the kids.
Yes, sir. You got to be proud of the way the guys respond after a disappointing loss, and it shows the character of these young men that you guys are building right now as you were able to execute, I'm going to say, almost flawlessly on Friday night.
Well, we still got some things that we can correct, but, you talk about the character of our kids, and one of the foundations of our program is that we talk a lot about men or boys. And of course, when you ask a 16-year-old, you want to be seen as a man or a boy, I'll give you one guess what 99.9% of them say, Mr. Class. They all want to be seen as a man. And so we talk about our decisions and how we respond to things, and we need to respond to things like a man would respond if we want people to view us as a man and see us as a man. And that's kind of the process of growing up from being a freshman boy to a senior man is learning how we respond to situations. And certainly last night was an opportunity for them to respond to a tough situation from last week, and the character that our kids showed it's worth me to take a minute or two here just to brag on them for how they responded.
Yes, sir. We're talking right now with Coach Gene Johnson of the Waller Bulldogs, victorious over Caney Creek Panthers by the score of 41-14. Coach, go ahead and give us some highlights of some young men who shined under the Friday night lights.
Well, a real workmanlike night for Caleb Godfrey. I think the stats look pretty good, but, there's some things I think that we can correct with him. We just think so much of him. He has just a world of potential, and he hit some big plays in some passing game, and I think if we clean up some other things, he will continue to be the key cog in our offense and really, quite frankly, in our team. Was really glad to see how well Christian Smith played and how well Austin Bice played. I think our two outside receivers are really, really good players, and I think last night that showed up a little bit. We had some mismatches outside, and those guys took advantage of that. And then I think a kid that, you're going to hear us talking about a lot of young kids, particularly on offense. Jaden Carter has been playing well and improving every week, and he's a sophomore. And, of course, Austin Bice is another sophomore that I mentioned that's outside. But probably the bright spot the entire night for us offensively is watching the Bars kid, tailback, get started and get rolling. And he just, he ran. Some of the coaches say he runs the ball angry, like he's mad. And he's a physical runner, and he broke some tackles and made some plays last night and really kind of stepped up and might have kind of said, hey, I need to be that guy at running back. So, encouraging on offense. We had a lot of young kids that stepped up, and some of our playmakers made some of the plays that we believe they were capable of. Defensively, just so incredibly proud. Caleb Noriega, he's a senior safety that did not play well against Cleveland. Admittedly, he thought that was not a good game for him and came into this game charged up to kind of, make a showing and turn that thing around. And played phenomenally. I think he had an interception. He was coming downhill and making some great tackles on their tailback, who Caleb was mismatched there on that size. Caleb's not the biggest kid, and that kid was a pretty big old thick kid. And Caleb was coming down and just hammering the running back. And how he played was just such a bright spot, encouragement for us. And then I thought, another senior leader, Garrett Kern, has continued to improve week in and week out, and his play defensively at linebacker was really well.
So with all of that being, as they say, a lesson learned from Cleveland to Caney Creek, let's size up the next opponent and the keys to victory as the Bulldogs get ready.
Well, we've got the week off this week on the open date, and then we'll play Mag West. And, I think the keys to victory for us is focusing on us. I talked to the kids about we cannot get caught up in worrying about who we're playing and worrying about matchups. We lose track of the focus of our need to worry about things that we have control over. And what we control is how well we play. And so I think with the slow start to the season and missing the game and the scrimmage early, we have got to continue. I told the team last night, when we start period one at practice, we have got to improve period one. And then when that's over, we got to move to period two. And that's the thing I asked them for after that loss last week was, let's get better every day. Let's just keep hammering away at this thing. I told them last week, I still see so much potential for growth in you as a team. And, I throw a plug in there for them. We missed Monday and Tuesday practice this week, and coming off a loss, we wanted to get back on the field and prep, and then we got thrown into a short 2-day preparation for this game, and so the kids responded. So I think we've got to continue that thought process of getting better every day, every minute of practice, pressing for us to improve as individual players and overall as a team. And then I think the other critical thing while we're at practice and focusing on things, we've got to continue to focus on our depth. We're a very young football team with, I think, 17 or 18 seniors, and we're playing a lot of sophomores and juniors. We're kind of, in our offensive line, we've got real dinged up. We've lost 2 offensive tackles last night. We lost a guard last night. So we have to continue to preach depth and have these young kids. It's an old coach's adage, but have these young kids stepping up as next man up.
Yes, sir. Now, Coach, Magnolia West has been one of the dominant programs in the district, and with this additional week that you have, I'm pretty sure you see this as an advantage of getting prepared for them. But is there any, let's say, critical or urgent desire to kind of get these guys amped up for Mag West Mustang program?
Our approach to Mag West has been one that I have not been pleased with. It's almost, we get anxious when we play Mag West. And so my focus is absolutely 100% on, we need to focus on us playing our best and doing our best. When we worry about our opponent, as I've seen us do with Mag West, we don't give ourselves a chance in our performance because we're so worried about what's over there on the other side of the football. We lose focus in doing my best and making sure that I am on my assignment and making sure I'm doing it to the best of my ability. And so certainly don't misunderstand. We have such great respect for Mag West. We've been a team that has had our number. But I think the key to bringing that thing back to earth and Waller being the Waller Bulldogs and who we should be is for us to focus on us. And that'll be the focus for us for these next 2 weeks. It's great to have an extra week of preparation. But again, the focus on, I think, the extra weeks of preparation will be our improvement as a team and continuing to build our depth so that we have answers when we have the injuries and things that happen to kids going down.
Yes, sir. So it's going to be even more of a mental preparation for the Mag West game as opposed to the physical walkthroughs. Of course, you need both of them to go hand in hand, but this is definitely a psychological advantage for the young Bulldogs to try to get over that hump.
Absolutely. I would concur with that thought. 100%. The mindset of our kids is everything, we as a program we're continuing to preach to these kids how much we believe in them. They have the confidence to believe in themselves.
Well, the Bulldogs are definitely headed in the right direction with the big win over Caney Creek. Get a week off to prepare for Mag West. And, Coach, we will definitely get a chance to have a week off from conversating, but we'll definitely get things back in place when the Bulldogs report on the outcome with Mag West. We want to thank you so much for joining in with us, sir, and have you any closing comments at this time?
I had a sports writer at the game last night, and I guess I close with this every week, but had a sports writer at the game that had not been to a Waller game in a while, and he made some comments about, he said, this is kind of a community feel and atmosphere here at the game. And so another thank you to our community, our parents, our student section has started really kicking up and coming out at the game this year. And I left a big district with 12 high schools because I wanted to experience a community that was all about their high school. And I think that was evident last night. So a huge thanks to the Bulldog Nation for supporting our young men.
Very well stated, sir. It is no other place that you would ever want to be than in Waller County, Texas. It's just a special place inside and out. And we thank you for being a part of the community, Coach. And thank you for being a part of today's show.
Thank you, Mr. Prince. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you, sir. You do the same. And welcome back to the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. We have on the line with us now Yadis Regas, head football coach of the Royal Falcons. Royal Falcons victorious on Friday night. Coach, congratulations, and give us another recap, sir.
Thank you for having me this morning. Yesterday we went down to Austin and played Austin Northeast Early College Academy. Came up with a 34-0 victory yesterday. And the guys played pretty well, both on the offensive side and the defensive side.
So playing well ball. And the name, if people are not familiar, you would think this was a private school, but this was a public school in the Austin School District, correct?
That is correct, yes, sir. It used to be former Austin Reagan High School.
Okay, very good. Now, Coach, if you could, give us a recap of some of the guys as they excelled on the Friday Night Lights.
Okay, we had the Marion Gibson. He actually had the first two touchdowns with 2 punt returns to put us up 14-0. Then we had our quarterback, Stephen McGill, come in the second quarter and throw for 2 long passing touchdowns. 2 of them received by Antonio Page, of our junior receivers.
Okay, now you're in a unique situation because of the size of your district. And you play, if I'm not mistaken, it's 4 or 6 district games, or are there 4 district games?
No, it's actually 5. We play 5 regular season games. We get a bye week, then we play 5 district games.
Okay, so you have the magic number where you need, I think in some cases, 2 wins to qualify for playoffs in your district, correct?
Yeah, we have to get 2. We have to get 2 wins to get to the playoffs.
Okay, and with the way things are, we're not trying to get too early, but the way things are shaping up right now with the momentum that the Falcons are building, we still got a lot of football to be played, but things are seem to be headed in the right direction right now. And, Coach, what do you attribute this thing to? Because we know that it's no secret. There's been a carousel of different coaches coming in and out of the system. What is it different about the 2021 Falcons compared to other years?
I know coming in in the springtime, we had a pretty successful summer program. We had a 6-week strength and conditioning program. I know last year they was unable to have it because of the COVID. And I think that's a major contribution to why we're having this success. And you speak to the kids, they mention the same thing, saying, Coach, didn't have an off-season last year. So I think that off-season program is a contributor to what we're doing now today.
Okay, now the Falcons are sitting at 3-1 right now. And trust me, Coach, that's like music to our ears at the Open Mic and the Waller County community, because it has been a long time coming for these kids to taste success, especially early in the season. Now, as we put this game behind us, you still got more football to be played. Who's your next opponent, and what are going to be some of the keys to success?
Next week we play bowling on Friday for our homecoming game, actually our last regular season game as well. before the district starts. So they're a pretty good program. I think they're 2-2. I think they won a game last night by the score of 47-14. So we have a pretty good opponent this weekend. So homecoming.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be pretty exciting around the campus this week.
Yes, sir. The atmosphere definitely is electric in Waller County, Texas, in the south part of Waller County, Texas, in Brookshire, Texas. Now, Coach, with everything that's shaping up the way it is, can you see the vibrato of your team turning around? And do you have to start telling the guys, hey, guys, slow down. We haven't really achieved anything just yet.
Absolutely. And we tell our guys now, even before the season starts, we try to go 1-0 week. So it's 1 week at a time, one game at a time. And don't look too far ahead and just take it week by week. And we got to win this week. So 1 week at a time with us.
Yes, sir. 1 week at a time, and things are shaping up quite well for Coach Theodis Regas and the Royal Falcons. Now, Coach, do you have any players that you would like to say that got game balls for this week on the offensive side, defensive side, and then we're going to call it the Falcon Award. It's for that guy who might have been that unsung hero for the week.
After we got two guys, we got Marion Gibson. Again, he had 2 punt returns for touchdowns on yesterday. We had Kendrick Benson, a defensive end. He had a couple of sacks yesterday in the game, and he had a defensive touchdown as well for the game on yesterday.
Okay, and the Falcon Award would go to who?
The Marion Gibson.
Okay, that would be the unsung hero of the week.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Coach Wilk, man, congratulations yet again. Keep going, doing what you're doing. And do you have any comments or final words for this segment on this week?
Oh, actually, I appreciate the community again. They came out to us and showed great support, our band as well. So, yeah, pretty good support, and I hope you guys will continue to support these guys and look forward to seeing them this week for homecoming.
Yes, sir. That sounds absolutely great, sir. And we thank you for joining in with us. The Royal Falcons sitting at 3-1 in the 2021 fall season, and things are just getting started up. They'll be taking on Bowling on next week for homecoming 2021. Be sure to come out and support the Falcons. This is the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Thank you guys very much, and we'll be right back. Friday night football scores from Waller County, Texas, and the surrounding areas. The Waller Bulldogs victorious over Caney Creek by the score of 41-14. Brenham 29, Bryan 14. Hargrove 37, Navasota 20. Tomball Memorial victorious over Kilgore by the score of 41-34. Bay Area Christian Broncos victorious over the Rose Hill Christian Eagles by the score of 17-0. And Royal Falcons pitch a shutout over Northeast Early College by the score of 34-0. The Open Mic Broadcast Network would like to take this time to recognize its sponsors and underwriters: Attorney Lee Van Richardson, Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, Prairie View Athletic Club, Temple of Refuge Ministries, Reflections Paint and Body Shop, Helping Hands Lawn Service, the Hotline Press newspaper of Hempstead, Texas, Diva Skin Conditioner, Purple Drip Daiquiri and Grill. For more information on how you can become an underwriter or a sponsor here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, our number to call is 832-213-8824. Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas. The station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.
This is Rob Butler with a little SDS football news. We're going to start with the Southland Conference game of the week. McNeese is at Southern. This is Saturday night at 6 p.m. It's at Mumford Stadium in Baton Rouge. You can watch the game on ESPN+. Frank Wilson became McNeese's 17th head coach in program history back in January of 2020. The New Orleans native, who is widely considered one of the top recruiters in college football, spent 4 seasons as the head coach at UTSA before arriving on the McNeese campus. The spring season saw McNeese overcome obstacles and adversity from all angles and play its best football late in the season, winning 2 of its last 3 games. 2 of the losses on the season were by a combined 6 points. Jason Rollins is entering his first season as the interim head coach and second season at Southern. Before coming to Southern, he spent 4 years at UTSA, where he served as associate head coach, defensive coordinator, linebackers coach, and secondary coach. Rollins helped mentor one of the nation's top defenses in 2017 as the Roadrunners led CUSA in 7 different statistical categories. Now, McNeese is 0-2 on the year. McNeese entered last Saturday's game against LSU wanting to show some improvement from last week's season-opening loss to West Florida. The Cowboys battled from start to finish in a 34-7 loss. McNeese quarterback Cody Ogeron connected with Carlos Williams on a 44-yard catch and run with 4:30 to play in the fourth quarter to ruin LSU's bid for a shutout. Ogeron completed 10 of 20 passes for 91 yards and a score. He set a new McNeese record for most consecutive pass attempts, that's 159, without throwing an interception. The old record of 142 was set by Cody Straub in 2013. Tulane transfer Stephon Hutterson led all rushers with 72 yards on 16 carries, while Deontay McMahon added 44 yards on 11 carries. Now, Southern is 1-1 on the year. Southern dominated Miles College in the second half last week, winning 41-24 at home in the Pete Richardson Classic. Quarterback Glendon McDaniel was 10 of 13 for 140 yards and a touchdown. He had a stellar QB rating of 192.8. Running back Craig Nelson carried the ball 8 times for 134 yards and a touchdown. Wide receiver Marquise McClain had 2 receptions for 49 yards and a touchdown. The Southern defense was stout all night long. Strong safety Tamara Smith led the team with 8 tackles and 2 pass breakups. Defensive tackle Davin Cotton added 7 tackles. Now here's my prediction. The Cowboys will win this game and get back on track. They are contenders for the Southland title. McNeese 28, Southern 24. On to the Western Athletic Conference game of the week. Charleston is at Southern Utah, but this is actually a neutral site game. It's Saturday tomorrow night at 6 p.m. It's at Global Life Park in Arlington. You can catch the game on ESPN+. Now, Todd Whitten is the all-time winningest head coach in the history of Charleston football. He is in his 12th season as the leader of the Texans in 2021. This is Whitten's 17th season as an NCAA head coach and his 34th season of coaching football at any level. Whitten guided Charleston's first NCAA Division I campaign in the spring football season of 2021. The Texans went 5-3 in their first season at the FCS level and earned their first win over a Division I program against FCS New Mexico State on February 21st. Mario Warren is in his 6th season as head coach of the Thunderbirds. Although his team only managed 1 victory during the pandemic-interrupted 2020-2021 campaign, all 5 of the T-Birds' losses came by a combined 15 points. Each contest Southern Utah dropped ended as a 1-possession game. Despite the disappointing setbacks, Warren mentored 9 all-conference performers and 2 All-Americans, namely Atia Davis and Braxton Jones. Quarterback Justin Miller was named a Hero Sports FCS Sophomore All-American. Now, Charleston State, they're 1-1 on the year. The Texans rushed for 347 yards and 5 touchdowns in a dominating 54-7 win over Fort Lewis and Stephenville last Saturday night. 4 different Texan running backs had over 50 yards rushing. Daniel Wright Jr. led all rushers with 119 yards on 15 carries. Jay McDonald had 92 yards on 9 carries and 2 touchdowns. Khalil Banks also had a pair of touchdowns to go with 54 yards rushing on 7 carries. While Raheem Skinner had 50 yards rushing on 8 carries and a touchdown. Quarterback Stephen Duncan was efficient throwing the football. He was 16 of 20 for 154 yards and a touchdown. Linebacker DJ Harris had the big day on defense with 12 total tackles, including 7 solo. Harris also had a sack and 3 quarterback hurries. Now, Southern Utah is 0-2 on the year. The Thunderbirds played their second game against an FBS opponent in 5 days. They took on number 19 Arizona State on September 2nd, but ultimately fell by a score of 41-14 under the lights of Sun Devil Stadium. The loss dropped Southern Utah to 0-2 on the year. The Thunderbirds were plagued by turnovers in the first half as Arizona State picked off 3 passes and recovered a fumble. But Southern Utah's defense responded throughout the game. The Thunderbirds came up with 2 turnovers on an onside kick and a fumble recovery late in the second half. Quarterback Justin Miller was 19 of 30 for 146 yards and 3 interceptions without a touchdown. He finished the night with a QB rating of 84.2. Running back David Moore III had 4 rushes for 26 yards and a touchdown. Now here's my prediction. The Texans will win this one in a nail-biter. They will be a force to be reckoned with in the WAC. Tarleton wins this one 31-28 over Southern Utah. Now, other games of interest, Southeastern Louisiana is at Central Connecticut State. The Lions offense rolled to 598 total yards and 32 first downs against the Conference USA member Louisiana Tech Bulldogs in a 45-42 loss last week. Reigning Walter Payton Award winner and senior quarterback Cole Kelly threw for a career-high 495 yards on 44 of 59 passing with 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Southeastern wins this game 48-27 over Central Connecticut State. Tennessee Martin is at Northwestern State. UT Martin overcame a large first-quarter deficit to defeat Stanford 33-27 in their home opener. Northwestern State fell 13-10 to Alcorn State last week despite a stellar defensive effort in Norman, Mississippi. Northwestern State wins this game 27-21 over UT Martin. Incarnate Word is at Texas State. The Cardinals defeated Prairie View A&M 40-9 last week in San Antonio. Texas State put up a solid defensive effort in the Bobcats' 23-17 overtime win over Florida International last week in Miami. Texas State wins this game 42-31 over Incarnate Word. Houston Baptist is at Prairie View A&M. Northern Colorado jumped out to an early lead and went on to a 45-13 victory over Houston Baptist at Husky Stadium in Houston last Saturday. Prairie View A&M suffered 4 turnovers in their 40-9 loss to Incarnate Word in San Antonio. I think Prairie View A&M is going to win this game 31-30 over Houston Baptist. It's going to be a close one. Lamar is at Northern Colorado. Lamar was beaten 54-0 by UTSA last Saturday in San Antonio. The young Cardinals should play better this week. But Northern Colorado wins this game 34-17 over Lamar. Mississippi Valley State is at Stephen F. Austin. Now, Valley dropped its opener 35-0 to Murray State. SFA lost 28-22 to Texas Tech in an epic thriller in Lubbock last Saturday night. SFA wins this one 42-0 over Mississippi Valley State. UT Permian Basin is at Abilene Christian. Quarterback Stone Earl threw 6 touchdown passes, and Darius Lewis had 131 receiving yards and leading the Wildcats to a 62-7 romp over Louisiana College last Saturday night. Quarterback Clayton Roberts tossed 6 TDs in the Falcons' 42-31 win over West Texas A&M. Abilene Christian wins this game over UT Permian Basin 34-21. And finally, Dixie State is at UC Davis. The Trailblazers were steamrolled 41-3 last week by Weber State. The Aggies upset Tulsa 19-17 in the opener and cruised to a 53-7 rout over San Diego last Saturday. UC Davis wins this game 42-13 over Dixie State. That's Rob Butler, Open Mic Broadcast Network.